glide, we've now triggered our pure light, and now the larger damage should really start happening. Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, SSX, we've gone 1-1. We did tie Salty, but lost on time. So here we are, we're up against PYCB. Really wanted to get a win, go 2-1 at the end of the first week. And the assignments came out. I got America Chavez, Kate Bishop, and my recently pulled 7-star Photon. Hopefully you've had a chance to see that video. I did wait until those crystals were done to get that out. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Photon's gonna really be the star of the show. Well, we've got this first fight here against this ManThing, and I will tell you, like, fortunately my boy Char in my battle group showed me a video of them taking a similar fight, and one thing that's gonna make this really difficult is that this is an ebb and flow, I think, a knockdown fight, meaning that when we knock him down, he's also going to go debuff immune, which is then going to make it really hard. And you can see I'm reading through the attacker tactic here quite a bit with the placebo buffs and the ability to get up the slow, which is really helpful because ManThing without those debuffs without the slow is going to go unstoppable. So I watched the fight, got good advice from Char and my battle group leaders as well. And ultimately what I decided was if I just pay like a lot of attention and I keep up Kate's cryo arrow, right? We've talked about this since the first time she came out, the first tier list, where it's like, look, a skill attacker doing passive damage is unique. Now we'll see what this turns into, how it goes, but that's unique and gonna be worth something in this game. And here's another way where this being a passive cryo arrow, the passive cold snap damage is really going to pay off. So fortunately, we kind of got a nice little intercept there to begin with, but watch this, as soon as we knock him down, we lose all of it. We lose all of that. So that just kind of was like a nice reminder for me. It's a nice way to start the fight with the intercept and all that. Keeping in mind, okay, what I now need to do is pay attention to, I just want to keep up my passive and cold snap, right? This cryo either. And as Char kind of reminded me, as we know, like we've talked about this, like, yeah, you can refresh the whole thing with the knockdown in the corner there, but just like right there, what you're seeing, hitting into the block of the opponent, we are pausing it. And right now I'm like, okay, we've already got him at under 50%. Sure, he goes unstoppable, but that's what I need to keep an eye on, right? And that's what I'm like, okay, fine. We don't have the slow up. We don't have up all the debuffs. That's fine. I'm not going to try to evade the special one. It is a slow evade, obviously. I know it, but even all of us who know it, we know we sometimes mess it up because it's such a slow, long flying one. And I'm kind of reminding myself, we're actually only a minute into this fight and we've already got him down at 40%. So while it feels like it's going slow, it's just going slower than a lot of Kate fights on path fights normally go. This is a tough fight. This is a tough node, and we've got it down here, right? So we're going to finish this off with the cold snap. And this just really shows you, again, what Kate can do. Like we talked about this in so many of the videos, one where I'm theorizing she might be good in Necropolis, show her in kind of long form. I've showed her in tons of short form. So it was cool. It was cool to get a more advanced fight, let's say, in Tier 1 War here with SSX going for Master. So moving on to this next one, we have this Ebb and Flow knockdown. This is gonna be a similar thing because there's a lot going on with Photon, and I really want her, and I've been getting some stuff out and I've been talking about her, but one of the things I really want to point out is she's very different than Titania. Titania is doing amazing, ridiculous things with nodes, with tactics, without tactics. It doesn't seem to matter. She's almost impossible to slow down. As we said when she came to the game, anyone can go indestructible, unstoppable, and unblockable many times a fight is probably going to be able to do some things, and then she's got a lot of things going for her. So, all right, well, this is about Photon. Well, one of the amazing things about Photon here, just starting off, whether she's in her pure light form or not, and right now she's in that pure light form. You can see it in the purple passive's got a 7 on it right now. Whether she's in there or not, she can block non-contact attacks. That's a really cool ability, right? Like Guardian has it, that sort of thing. So that's why she's such a nice natural counter for Shuri. Now, as I said, and why I was kind of talking about her versus, Photon versus Titania, is Titania doesn't really need her debuffs. They're helpful, don't get me wrong, but she doesn't have to have them. And Photon's really going to need them, and that's why this fight's going to take as kind of as long as it has, despite it being a really nice matchup, is whenever the protection comes back up or what have you, Shuri is going to get rid of all of those debuffs. So it's fine. I realized that was going to happen. I was very comfortable. I'm comfortable with all the debuffs that Photon does place up. I'm spec'd into Inequity, so I'm just going to block these specials. And then one of the things you're seeing is, and I remember this happening in the fight, is, you know, sometimes it just feels like my thumb's not in the right place. I don't know how else to explain it. I've talked to other players about it, and they said it happens to them too. And as a result, I'll choose just not to punish a special because I can tell I'm late or I'm not going to get the swipe in time. And I still went for it quite a few times. And this is another very cool, just like little piece of utility from Photon is when she is stunned, she goes untouchable for a little bit. So you can kind of safely, like right there, like I didn't know if I had the timing right, but I felt pretty good about it. Now, Shuri could intercept me, but she couldn't parry stun me. So I felt pretty good about it. And we're going to go in here. We've got our pure light. No, we've lost our pure light. So this is where I was like, I'm going to have to reset again. It's fine. It's really, truly fine. I can knock her down with my heavy and land the Sunder. This is like the least eye-popping fight of all the ones that Photon's going to take this war. And for me, though, it's kind of the coolest because I think without the tactic really ramping her damage and this sort of thing, I think this is a little bit more practical and what you're going to probably see from Photons when the tactic isn't ramping her up so quickly, right? She's ramping up with those debuffs and that sort of thing, and the tactic's really helping out. So this is a very safe fight and a very good fight. I really enjoyed being able to take her. So now let's see some sparks fly, okay? We're going up against this Kindred. He's got 190 health, but he is a tactic defender. I'm a attacker. And so one of the things I did is, you know, I did the video on how to fight Kindred. So I really wasn't worried about this fight. And what I wanted to see was two things. One, the deal I made with myself was, if I miss the special, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to force a punish to get the time. One, that's a bad idea anyway. Two, because of the tactic, I won't take the damage from the degen anyway. So I'll be fine because they're both tactic, right? That's part of it. And then the other thing I wanted to see is if I could do enough damage in my basic attacks. And you see, we already hit pure light form, which is why we have 5 passive furies. So we are hitting hard out the gate. Look at this, 12,000 crits. And we need to bait the special, which just kind of slows us down a little bit. And if I was able to punish it, it would give us a pause on the pure light. But I knew I had the timing wrong, so I just didn't worry about it. And right now I'm like, you know what? I think if I get that intercept, which I did, we should be able to get him under his 5%, and I should be able to throw a special right here. It was just beautiful. It was beautiful. You know, it was a rank 4 Kindred, fine. It was a rank 1 7-star, unduped Photon, felt perfect, really excited about it, never even punished any of the specials, which could obviously leave plenty of room for level ups in that fight, get that done a little more smoothly. So took the screenshot, you can tell I was pretty excited about it. We have one more fight with Photon, which I think is, to me, the most exciting, right? I was pretty excited about it, and I can't wait to get there. But before we get there, we've got this fight here against Hulkling. Hopefully you've seen these. These have been going really well. Reminder that the synergy between Kate Bishop and America Chavez will reduce the time on that indestructible Hulkling has by, I think it's 40% per of my dimensions, right? You know, America Chavez has 3 dimensions per dimension, so we can get to the point where it's non-existent if I have all 3 up. And I did this fight a little bit different. I was getting a little bit cocky here, and I think it's gonna come back to bite me. 1, I didn't punish the special in time, but 2, right here, the other times I've been doing this fight, I have fully gone into the purple dimension to get those up twice to start trying to reverse Teddy's power gains. And I think I'm gonna pay the price here, because watch, I kind of thought this might kill, and it doesn't. We didn't get enough crits, and it pushes me to the special 3. And now I'm in a little bit of trouble, because it's that negative zone, right? The negative dimension, the purple one that helps me out with the power gain. I've now lost it. What I should have done at that time was I should have gone in and punished, and that would have finished off Hulkling, as you're going to see, because I'll eventually come to that conclusion. And if I didn't finish him off, I could have thrown the special 3, which definitely would have. But I wanted to bait that, and then I just decided, like, I need to get out of here. I slow combo a little bit. It's hard to notice, but I did slow my combo down a little bit and let the indestructible fall off. That's kind of how you do that fight when you don't have the synergy, right? Is you can slow down and time it so you do your big damage when the indestructible is not up. So that was fine. I never felt like terribly in danger, but I did have to pay a little bit more attention than I've had other times. So I'm going to pause this really quick, because the original plan was for it to be Kate Bishop, and my buddy TJ, the planner, one of the planners in BG2 for SSX, has done that fight with Kate Bishop. I will link it in the description. He puts out a phenomenal player, one of the best Battlegrounds players in the world. And I watched it, and one of the things I told him is, I was like, Morbius's glide, it just comes at me so fast. And 2 things happen. 1, sometimes I don't get out of the way because I'm trying to be ready for it. and I'm trying to not intercept it. For some reason, I keep finding myself intercepting it. And I watched his video. It's phenomenal. Kate Bishop clearly can do it and does it very fast. But I told him, I was like, I kind of want to go with Photon for a couple of reasons. One is I find myself wanting to intercept that. Like, it's just like muscle memory. And her mediums can't miss. When she's in pure light, nothing misses. But when she's outside pure light form, her mediums can't miss. I want that protection. She's also bleed immune. I know his bleeds don't do massive damage, but if he hits me, I don't want to be thinking about that ticking. And then also with Spect into Inequity, which I do, and all of her debuffs, that's going to minimize damage should I make a mistake. And then lastly, there is some pretty beefy healing on this node. You're going to see this here. I think it's the next part of the node as I scroll down. And remember, Photon's got all those debuffs, so Spect into Despair, that's going to help. But when she's hitting the opponent, she applies a passive Petrify. And I want you to pay attention to that in this fight. I'm still an Indestructible because although my plans were very supportive and they're like, yeah, sure, that makes sense, go with it. I still wanted to make sure I got the solo, and I had not done this fight before. But pay attention to when I'm hitting him, watch what happens. He stops healing completely and just starts taking so much damage versus when I'm not hitting him. See, like right now, let's see here. He's healing. You can see it. You can see the healing. I don't have all my debuffs up, but he's healing, okay? Now, watch this. Now he's not healing, and it's all that passive Petrify that's up there. So if you stay very aggressive and you can keep that Petrify up, you're gonna do some really nice things to the healing of the opponent. When you can't, you're relying on Despair. So keep that in mind. She's very far from an overpowered science champion. I just love the way she's built in Mage. She's a great defender, and then she can do things like this. Notice this isn't a tactic defender, so we're not getting those benefits from having an attacker into a defender. There, I did a nice job of actually getting out of the way of his glide. We've now triggered our pure light, and now the larger damage should really start happening. I'm gonna make a mistake at some point. I remember I do. I think I kind of forget about the electric glide and it punishes me. You can see I punished his special well enough, and so we got the nice pause on our pure light form, which you really want to keep because that's what gives you those nice big passive furies. There was my mistake. And I started early by trying to actually get an intercept because it feels safe. And if I can get the intercept off of his glide, then that goes on cooldown and we're all good. Going for the special one and totally finishes off this Morbius. If I get that fight again, I would love to have Photon for it. You can see how well she destroys that fight. And if I can't, that's also fine. I'm sure Kate Bishop can do it. Like I said, if you want to see Kate Bishop do it, take a look at the link in the description. You'll see TJ's version of it. Put that up there for you. So when I was done with my war, I got my war plan in, and I happened to have a window to attack pretty early in my morning. So I got that done, felt good, clear, used some energy, help out the battle group. And then the last time I checked the war, we were up, and we were looking pretty solid, right? We were up in attacker kills, fairly well on our way to clearing the map, and we had already had 5 kills. So, but with PYCB, a very good war alliance. You never know. I'm gonna fall asleep tonight not knowing the results. Very excited to check it out in the morning. Very pumped up to use Photon. Let's go ahead and take a look at the season stats. All right, season stats, SSX 1-1. Looks like we're on our way to being 2-1, but I don't want to call that. PYCB is very good, so who knows what's going to happen there or can happen there. 13 kills, 0 deaths, feeling good about that. 4 total champions come in, and they're 4 of my favorites to use. You know I love America Chavez. You know how powerful it is. Kate Bishop, one of my Ascended. I have 2 Ascended champions. They're both skill. One's MCoC, one's Kate Bishop. Photon, I love her. I really, honestly, well, you check out no, you've seen, I'm not spoiling anything. I was not able to get her awakened, so that would be a hesitation there, but I really believe if I pull science stuff for my first rank 3 champion with those gems, I'm going to heavily consider her. I just enjoy her and her play style that much. And then of course, you know, I love Iron Man, one of the few champions I actually took to rank 5 as a 6-star. I love him. Current streak of 41. Having a blast. I hope your war season's going as well as mine, if not better. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.